happy 4th of July to everybody who's celebrating. Yeah, happy 4th of July. We're back with another video. Just want to do a little pre-market analysis. I did release a video earlier today, so if you haven't actually seen that, you can go and check that out. It's the most recent video. It's about why we won't be trading with Lucid anymore. Doesn't mean that we stop. It just means that we are transitioning to a different platform. So check out that video and yeah, just check out that video and leave me a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you can subscribe too. So, but for today, I think maybe like over the next 30 minutes, we're just gonna go over Thursday's session, which is this volume profile over here. That's the 2nd of July. Let's just confirm. Yeah. So we did trade Tuesday and Wednesday. So we took trades on both of these days, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Monday, unfortunately, I didn't have any power, so I didn't take this trading day. I believe what actually happened here is I think we went off previous week levels. Let me just confirm. Yeah, I think we must have retraced from a previous week level. Yeah, from a previous week value area high. And then then we had Tuesday's trades, which was a 50% day. Our first trade was actually an L, but then our second trade was the winner. So that was net 298, I think, roundabout. And then on Wednesday, we only did the one trade. We took it from overnight value area low, which I've deleted, but it's all good. But yeah, we took this trade from overnight value area low all the way to, we didn't really get to we didn't trade it to the previous week value area high. We got out somewhere after PLC or just before, after PLC. But that was Wednesday's trade. And so I just want to go through Thursday. I was gonna do this by myself, but I was also supposed to have a live for you guys on Thursday, but what happened. So I just want to go through the trading day, which is this day, Thursday, and just see what happened. Yeah, just see what happened, and also just refresh, I guess, like my mind on just how our newly developed edge works. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's do that. I believe, what did I say? We said from the 2nd of July, right? Which was Thursday. Okay. That's this volume profile right here. I don't know why. There we go. That's much better. So what would we have done? We would have the first thing we would have had to do, of course, was to mark out our overnight levels, right? So whatever was on the volume profile over here, and we're just gonna have a look at how that played out on Thursday. Overnight, where are you? Let me try an RTH ETH split. So that should be working. There we go. We already know what happened, right? We already know what happened because we've seen it already, but yeah, I think just going over it, and it's not really, I guess in a way it is backtesting, but it's backtesting with a different type of intention. I think a lot of newer traders will backtest something, right? Backtest a strategy, but without any real intention behind it. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me, you know. But yeah, let's mark out these levels. So what would we have done? We would have had to mark out our overnight value area high. Also, I think what we do need is some music. Hold on, guys. I need to add some, I not need to, but I want to add. I want to add some background music just to create a little bit of a vibe. I like the DNB, the liquid drum and bass that we had the other day. Okay, this looks cool. Okay. Yes, yes. Okay, well, that's a lot more atmospheric than I thought it was gonna be. All right, Remonstrada, guys, let's go. But yeah, what was I saying? I was saying like just intention, right? Just have like back testing with some intention, so not just watching how price moved, I guess, but also watching to see how your edge plays out with different type of market conditions. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. So essentially, basically what I'm saying is, if you, okay, for example, if you're only back testing breaks of VWAP or VWAP, I don't know, VWAP retracements, right? All you're gonna see is VWAP retracements when you get into the market, because that's what you were back testing, right? But if you're back testing something to identify your spot weaknesses, that's intention. I hope that makes sense. So that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that it's about adding intentionality to the process. You know what I mean? These levels also don't need to be exactly on the level, because we just, you know what I mean? They don't need to be exactly on the exact levels right now for what we're doing right now. Okay, so I think with that we can like play this day out. So we have our overnight levels, previous day point of control levels. We know where our weekly levels are. They are below us here. There we go. So our previous week value area high is at 484. So okay, so let's play this out. Maybe at a different speed. Real delay. We get 5. And let's see what we can catch and what we can identify, right? Yeah. That's what we're gonna have to do. So that was the open. So open was within value, right? That's important to note. So we opened inside of value, inside the previous day value. So it's previous day value area high, previous day value area low. We're right at the previous day point of control. Let me zoom this out. Let me zoom in. And yeah. Oh yeah, the music is definitely making this a lot more of a vibe. And also, I mean, if we come onto our composite volume profiles, right? This is where we're at right now. So opening with in value, as you can see. What are our obvious levels? Our obvious level is the previous day value area high, right? And then maybe after that, the only real maybe say level of resistance would be 589. So we can't just like have a psychological check of 589, or we could draw it out. I think yeah, I think let's draw it out. So we're saying 589, so let's go 3 points above it. So 3 points would be 592, and then 3 points below it. So kind of looking at this 586 to 592 range, right? Ish, roundabout. So this is where this volume node is, right? So after because we're going higher, we're above previous day point of control, we're above overnight point of control. If price breaks above overnight value area high, previous day value area high, then you know that would be that's a logical place to have resistance. You know what I'm saying? So thinking of it sequentially like that. Okay, but let's play it out and see. And also we just pay attention to the CVD. We do need this to be a little different from what it is. We need our summary, not summary profiles, candle totals. Yeah, candle totals. Need this to be bigger. 18 and bold. And same thing with the negative delta. Remember when we're doing this on stream, the reason why we have this on chart, right, is because we want to spot, right? We want to spot the changes in delta. That makes sense? Yeah, maybe we make this bold as well, and our bid ask percentage, we can keep that as black and the same size. That doesn't need to be any different. Yeah, let me make this default for RTH only. Yes. So we don't have to come back and switch this around every time. Yeah. Is that green good enough, or is it a little bright? It's fine. Okay, here we go. So positive delta, we can see it in the candle totals, 950, 980, 800. Delta kind of picking up there. Still also the first 3 minutes of the session, so speed it up a little more. Okay, so that's a break of overnight value area high. Do we get a retest of it? Okay, I don't like the color. Sorry. Just make this deeper green. I mean, it's not the best. guys, you know what? My OCD will kick in and we won't get through this. So that's the color of the green. I'm just gonna have to live with it. Okay, and then the switch to delta switch is negative, still not within our trading window. Okay, let's slow it down a little. It's watching the time, 9:40. $9:42. See if there's a retest of this. I think that would have been the logical trade to make. A retest of this previous day value area high, targeting the bottom of that. How many points is that? 12 points, so about 300 $300 trade. Risk, I mean, we could keep our risk at the overnight value area high, wait for this retest and see. Okay, so officially our trading window would have been open here. The only place to actually place the trade would be the previous day value area high. Anywhere else would be arbitrary, you know. Okay, so after that, I don't think this would have been valid because that node has been hit already, you know. So let's play it out and watch it and see. Delta picking up. So the thing to watch at that point, right? Because remember, what we're looking at right now is we had pointed out we had got this volume node, right? And so we're looking at how price responds to this volume node, which is the composite volume node, which is a volume node on the composite volume profile. Makes sense? So at this area here, I'm drawing it out just in case it ain't clear. Around about here, that's the rectangle that we drew on the first chart. At this area here, this is where we would expect to meet some form of resistance, you know. Either that we find some resistance here and then we come back down, or we break above it, retest it, and then continue going up, you know. So those are the only two scenarios. Okay. $589 was it's a pretty good call. Okay, so there we go, 591, and plus the delta is picking up, so would have had to be very patient. Would have had to be very patient around here. So here's the retest of that volume node, watching the delta and the CVD. Delta was at 2000 and shifted, and it keeps dropping, right? Does it pick up? Does it get back to the 2000s? Delta's shifting. Now the next way, it's like the way that I build my trade ideas, right, is the developing volume profile gives me context as to how price is being accepted, right? So if we break outside of value, right? What's value? Value value area high, value area low. So if we break outside of value, right, it means that for a certain amount of time, there was acceptance of that being value, right? But then if price then comes back within it, right? So if price can come back here, if price can come back to 581, retest this, which is the developing volume profiles value area high. So that's the red line over here. If we can get back and retest this and find support here, then there's case for this to go higher. But if price comes and then breaks within this value, right, and fails to claim it, right, fails to stay above the value area high, and then it does make sense that, well, if we're at value area high, what's the next logical place to go? The next logical place to go would be the point of control. From the point of control, what would be the next logical place to go? It would be the value area low of the developing volume profile, right? But now if you're thinking of it macro, right, the previous day value area high is basically this line, right, but for the previous day's volume. So if you're using the same, if you're thinking of it like that in that sequence, then it does kind of make sense that if we do break within previous day value, right, so if we're inside previous day value area high, after we fail to break above it continuously, then the next logical place for us to go and seek value would be the previous day point of control, right? And then if we continue around the previous day point of control and we need another place to find value, the next logical place to find value would be the previous day value area low. So that's how I form my trade ideas and how I think around what's developing on the charts and in real time. So let's see how it played out. Also watching the delta, right? Delta's negative. It's showing the same thing on the CVD. Here's that retest. Here's the retest of the value area high. What do we do? Does it hold? Does it claim? For this to hold, we need to see delta pick up significantly also. What is this? This is all 589, right? Okay, and then here's another thing that also not completely, but it does change the narrative of the market. Okay, give me one sec, guys. All right, back, guys. I was saying this, right? This is also a significant read. This is a significant read. What's the word I want to use? Like, as a market condition, this also plays high up, right? Because remember, just a few candles ago, our value area high was at the bottom of this candle, right? This was our value area high, 581, 581.50, roundabout, right? And then after that, what happened is our value area high shifted to the top of the volume profile, right? Meaning that 70% of the volume from this profile is now from here, 566, all the way to the top of this candle. This is where 70% of the volume is, right? But also at the same time, what this means is At this point, we are now within value. You get it? We're now within the 70% of volume being transacted in the market, right? So what does that mean? It means that, well, at this point, for us to break higher, right, we now need to break that value area high. Failure to break above this value area high, right, means we are going to rotate. We are going to have to rotate to the value area low. And also where price is right now is the POC, which is the fair value, which is the fair price that these market participants have agreed to pay for this asset at this particular moment. You get it? So let's watch. Let's see. Do we break above the value area high, or do we then rotate lower? It's also why trading from the developing volume profile is so tricky, because like these levels shift throughout the session. So you have to be really careful about those. But here we go. Here's a test. We have to get the test of the value area high, or at least attempt a test of value area high. My camera keeps freezing, fam. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully this is better. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, let's go. Okay, here we go. Also, if we let go of the point of control of the POC, then we're gonna go lower. By let go, I mean if we start trading below that price, then price is gonna go lower. It's not so much so like guessing, right? It's adding smart conclusions. Okay, there we go. So that's a rejection of the point of control. So what's our next point of resistance? Our next point of resistance is a previous day value area high. Actually, it's the VWAP, right? So what happens normally at the VWAP? Participants load, right? So when we get to the VWAP, participants load, and then they try to buy it up again, right? Like we've seen earlier. Now either buy it up or they sell it, right? We saw at the beginning, what did we get? We got, right from the beginning, we had participants buying the VWAP. They bought it here and they bought it here. Price came back, retested the VWAP, and then shot up from there, right? Kinda, not really, kinda had a small little test of the VWAP, right? So is that gonna provide the jump for this asset to then go higher? We would have had to be really patient to see it play out. But there you go, that's value area high now. Does it break, does it not? But also just watch how when we got to the value area high, our delta started shifting lower, meaning that at value area high, there were market participants who were ready to sell the fuck out of this thing, you feel me? So at least just for like that little bit. Let's see how it plays out though. Okay, back at the point of control. The only logical place to have actually placed a trade here would have been from the previous day value area high. It's either you got it here, but then you wouldn't really have had a level to target except for maybe like that 589 as I had called, but like looking at this, it's just one of those things where, again, if we're deducing, why would there be case for this to go lower? Well, if we break this VWAP, we're now below the VWAP. If we're below the VWAP, then there's real causality that we could get to the value area high and break below the value area high. Your stop could have been wide or tight, depending on how you would have wanted to place it, I guess. Maybe, possibly, we've tried something like this. It's got 22-point stop. Maybe something like that. And then reducing the size of this as this continued going lower. So like 1-1, 20-something points. Bit of a long trade, but it's about 500, 600. Okay, here we go. Does that break or does that hold? Watching the delta, so that's broken through the VWAP for now, but does the delta support that move? No. And you can see it, like you can literally see when price goes higher, you can see the delta shoot up. All right. It's actually pretty interesting because now what you have is you have previous day value area high overlapping the value area low. So tricky one, because again, I mean, like the thesis is does kind of make sense in the sense that we are below the VWAP, but also we were above the VWAP, so it doesn't really mean anything in that sense, you know. So the two things that are a real possibility here is you get the other side of this profile. So maybe to just like reduce your risk, maybe something like that. Maybe putting your stop at the point of control, you know. But a full invalidation of this trade would be the other side of this volume profile. Does that make sense? That's where like that's where the trade idea dies, basically, you know. But yeah, let's see what happened here after. Also, another thing that's supporting this is the delta, right? Delta is still not fully picking up. Okay, now you have negative delta, so now you're good, you know. So it's probably how we would have wanted to go about this trading day. Maybe even like other side. Here's the value area low, something like that. Or actually even just like the, you know, targeting the open. But yeah, but I mean like delta supporting that, so okay, now guess what you would want to see is you would want to see a retest of this value area low and for price to stay outside of this value, you get me? But quite a number of things supporting the move lower. How many minutes would this have been? And IB also officially set. So targeting IB would make sense, you know. An extra, what? Let's be going for like an extra 9 points, which I guess is significant. It's like an extra 225, 250 at 5 contracts. Yeah, another thing that I've noticed is that it's really about how willing you are to be patient, to see an idea, like a trade idea, play out. Especially when you do have data to support your thesis, or you know what I mean, or idea or trade idea. You know, like this would require a lot of patience because your delta still is negative. So sellers are in control of the market. And if you're looking also, if you look at the numbers on the left and on the right here, 50.26 to 49.72. You know, so okay, so that's the break of IB, of initial balance. Do you get a retest? Do you get a retest of it and then it breaks outside? Do you want to wait for something like that, or do you move your stop here to 551, call that a day? You know, that also would have been more than enough for, you know, did that even hit? Oops. No, that didn't even hit. I guess maybe what this is now is the retest of initial balance loss. So and over 9 point of control. That didn't hit either. Yeah, I mean, 3 points? Nah. I mean, if you really want to be that guy, you could be that guy and be like, yeah, I want the full TP. You know. Which I guess is also what I was saying about the patience, right? Just knowing that you have the data to support an idea. So anyway, so there it is. I just want to see what the full TP on this was. Yeah, see, this would have been, yeah, I mean, you would have got your TP here, right? You would have got your take profit. 1052, you'd have entered this trade at 1026, roundabout. It's about almost half an hour for it to play out. A little jittery in some places, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. it makes sense to me. I hope like my little breakdowns and stuff help. Yeah, I hope they help you out and they helped you figure out how to maneuver or navigate this little marketing. You feel me? But yeah, also as always, if you do have any questions, just drop them in the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer them, or you know, I'll do my best to answer them. But yeah, I think honestly, like seeing Delta shift from negative to positive would have been, I mean, holding beyond previous day value area low would have been, I'm looking for the right word. I want to say greedy and selfish, but it also would have been pointless, because then what are you going for? Going for overnight value area low? You know, just kind of reload, get what you can from the day, come back the next day, you know, and try to not do anything stupid or silly or whatever, you know. But we know how this day played out. We know how it played out because we did have a look at the thing. So maybe what we can do is should we do it today, or should we do it on Sunday? Maybe let's do it on Sunday. Let's do it tomorrow. I'll have another day just dedicated to the setting of these previous day levels and previous week levels. We'll do that tomorrow, same time. We'll do it tomorrow. I don't know about the same time, but yeah, that's gonna be it for me. That's gonna be it for the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, as always, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comment section, you know. And I'll be so happy to assist or help or answer the best way I know how. Yeah. All right, baddies and gentlemen, I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Again, happy 4th of July.